Okay, so thank you very much, you guys. That is a short video I wanted us to watch before we start. Our next session will look at how you can lose your children to the social media. And that discussion will be done during our next session. So some of the stories will be shared a lot in terms of the things that are happening that can potentially take the life of a child and risk it. A number of stories. We have close to about 100 different stories we want to just interrogate during that session. But today we are going to do the general things that we did last time. We did a session and then want to also do it again. So we are doing the same session we did last time. If those who joined last Wednesday, if they are around, we can. We are doing almost the same thing. So that is it. So welcome all of you. I can see Stephen, I can see Shaban, I can see Stockby. Some of the names I can't mention them very well, but forgive me. Stockby, I can see Agidi, Frank, I can see Melissa Pia, I can see Eunice. Okay, I can see Manuel. Okay, I can see Esther, Melissa. Okay. I can see Alberta. Some of the names are in Galaxy J7 and stuff, so I can't see them. But if you want me to, if you want to give us more information, what you can do basically is that you can just go to the chat box and tell us who you are and what you do and your expectation for the session. If we are not having it, we'll just incorporate into our next session, okay, which will happen next week. So thank you all and for coming through, and let's have fun. All right. Anything before we start?
Yeah, Emmanuel.
Okay. Yeah, boss.
Can you do recording for us, or let us have access to recording?
I'm recording. So when I finish, I will share it with you. I'll post on YouTube and share it with you so you can download it from there. Okay. All right. So I'm recording it. Any other question again before we start? Okay, so we are good, right? Okay, so I personally think that one of the critical things as parents and caregivers, and if we are actually working for youth groups, is to understand the dynamics of our what is happening online, what kids are doing on the internet, and the implications for them and for all of us here. And we have a lot of damning stories that we can share. But today, I don't want to bore you with so many stories. I want to just go into the dynamics of the three things we talked about. And then we will have the opportunity to ask questions and then do some few demos, and then we can go away. Then we can come back if you want to learn more. So let's start. So I'm going to share my screen again, and then I will allow you guys to what do you call it? Give me a minute, please. Wait. Okay, so I'm trying to add a slide so that I'll continue finish it. Okay, so okay, so I guess now you can see my screen, right? Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm starting now. Now, again, please, those who are having a noise at their background, do me a favor. You can mute your microphone, okay? If you want us to see, you can put your video on, but if you, the noise will be interrupting us, so mute your microphone so we can all enjoy the session. All right. I don't want to have a lot of feedback from this. If you can help me with that. Thank you very much. All right. So we are starting. The broader topic that we are looking at it is raising up mobile and web generation. All right. And we know that all of us who are here were born into a world that has no internet, that has no computers, and that has no phones. Okay. So if you are born beyond the year 1995 or the year 1990 down, 80, 70, 60, whatever, you may not be born into a world where internet was so fluid and it was available for everybody. So fundamentally, if you are not less than 20 years on this platform, it means that you are not born into the world where internet was so actively, social media was not there and all of that. You grew up and you gained consciousness before somebody then directed you to go to a platform called the internet, all right? That was good because you had the decision to either be there or not to be there. Not so with young people that are being born from the year 1995 upwards, for example, who don't have any option whether they want to be online or not. Because sometimes even they are born, they are giving birth online. I've seen videos of people who are giving birth in the labor world, and it's live on Facebook, for example. I have children that they are having their naming ceremony in India, and their family in the UK were connected via Skype to watch the ceremony. So, and all the videos that were actually streaming online were recorded to a very remote server that nobody's having nobody knows what those videos, what that video will be used for example. So we have two generations. The generation that was not forced to join the digital platform because they had the decision and the choice to be there. This generation don't have any option because their parents get pregnant and they put their pregnancy even on the internet. So they are two different people. Now, how do you raise children in that caliber? And I'm saying this because there is a way you can raise a generation like us, who are maybe 30 years plus or 25 years plus or 40 years plus. But this generation, the way you raise them will be different because you may not be able to apply the same principle of what we call copy and paste. What your parents did, you're going to do the same thing to them. They are different groups. And I want to go into a few of them. So let's start. Now, a bit about myself. Actually, I run a company called Ramses Infotech Solution. We are an IT company, but we do a lot of specialization in cybersecurity, forensic investigation, and enterprise security. So we do a lot of stuff for countries outside Ghana, within West Africa, and others. Now, one of the things we did a few years ago was to run a program called One Code. And One Code was a program we are still running, actually. It's about 3 years ago we started the program. And we're actually training young people between the age of 7 and 14 to understand the dynamics around the digital life they were born into. So, for example, all of us when we were growing up, we were told to dissect a frog. And in our biology class...
Sonia. Hi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Steven. Steve. Boss Steve. Okay. Can I go on, please? Can I go on, please? Hello.
Yes, I think you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can go on. Just go on.
Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so what we did was that our company ran this program, and then we allow young people between the age of 14 and 7 and 14 to understand what happened, for example, when they go to bank and put their card into an ATM architecture, and the money is actually released for them. What goes into those signs? And so we're teaching them how to build simple application, how to build simple web application and stuff like that. Now, it was fun because for us, we have actually trained technical guys, even for the banks in Ghana and beyond. Technical guys that actually manage systems and networks and databases, and that's our job. We're comparing the two people. We're comparing the kids that we're training and this mature guys that are sometimes they finish university, they've done a master's in their account for the training for the certification. The difference was clear. The difference was clear because it was exciting to teach these young guys than the older people. The exciting part was that they were so much into the thing. They were so excited about learning the technology. They want to play the games. And when they are not even understanding anything, you actually put a game and you play with them. In the next second, they got in. So we're having fun and teaching them those simple things. Then it occurred to us that, okay, these are young people who may not be mature to understand that, but they are actually excited about the internet. They are almost always on the internet, and they are doing a lot of stuff. But apparently, the internet is also one of the most dangerous places in the world. For example, it is where most bigger crimes in the world are committed. So there are young people who are very naive. Most of them are very savvy, but they are not mature to handle the tricks of the cyber criminals online. So then we started talking. Then we said, okay, why don't you have a program for young people? Talk about cyber security for young people. We said that we started going to secondary schools, talking to them and stuff. Anansi, Ms. Anansi, please mute your microphone, okay, for us. Thank you. So we did that, and then realized that the key stakeholders of raising children in any part of the world is the parents. So we started doing this thing called digital parenting, where we talk to parents and caregivers about what are the risks that children are prone to when you buy them devices and you don't monitor them. That's why we started this project. So, and I think we start talking about as giving us a lot of examples and experiences, because as we talk to parents, we see the problem is not that simple. The problem is it's quite huge. So that's what we started talking about, the cybersecurity thing. So in the next maybe 1 hour, if we're able to get the excitement around it, we'll be able to go through a number of things and then talk about what we have actually learned as we went on that adventure. So let's start. Now the world is changing, okay? And if we are born in the year 1990s, 1980s, 1970s, and 1960s, you realize that too many things have changed in our world. The kind of world that you were born into is not the same what you are seeing today. Now, why am I saying this? I use the term here exponential, and exponential by my comparison, look at it from this angle. For example, that you can have a simple 30 steps from your bedroom to your gate. And the same 30 steps will just give you 1, 2, 3, 30 steps will give you like this about maybe some 5 meters. Now, when you do the same 30 steps exponentially, what it means that if you do 1 step, you raise about 2. If you do 2 steps, you about 2, and all of that. So you have 4, 16, 32 for that. As you make the steps. What you'll be able to achieve is that you'll be able to actually, within the same 30 steps, actually go to the moon, come back to the earth, and circle the 8 times. When you don't want to die, you want to circle the earth, you can actually go around the earth for 26 times. What it means is that 30 steps on earth can give you a lot of achievement. I think I'm having a lot of feedback from Techno. Who is using a Techno Pop 2 Power? Please mute your microphone for me, I beg you.
Oh, okay.
I'm having a lot of feedback from your side. Okay, thank you. All right, so I will explore the past, the now, and the future technology. I will talk about jobs. I'll talk about the outlook of cybersecurity for young people. And I think that all of us, if you don't have a child, I think you are actually a teacher or somebody who is a caregiver. So that's why it's important. Now let's watch this video. So this is a video from Cisco, okay? And Cisco is one of the companies that does a lot of networking stuff, even for Ghana. And so they have this architecture that allows a human. Forgive me. Okay. So what's happening here is that Techno Pop Out 2, please.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Just mute the microphone. That's all. And then when you want to talk, you can raise your hand. Okay.
I guess it's okay now.
Yeah, I'm saying that you can just mute the microphone because your background is a bit noisy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, thank you. I'm hearing feedback from you. So just mute the microphone. If you want to talk, just wait, I'll let you.
Oh,
I don't want to mute anybody from my side, so just do that for me. I beg you. All right. So thank you. All right. So what has happened in this video? Cisco built a very simple architecture that it's a mirror, like allow your image to wear the dresses for you, and then you will have the opportunity to change the dress and run it on your board. So let's watch the game briefly. Forgive me, it's not part of the decision, but let's enjoy the video. Okay, please talk. I can hear you, sir. Got us notes. Okay, a hand is raised. Senior. Okay, so a gentleman called after someone with the opinion that computers are not so intelligent, and in his estimation, he believed that computers should be more intelligent than what they are. There should not be machines that will wait for you to instruct it. His argument was simple. Let's have devices think on their feet and be able to mimic human beings. So he actually brought a number of technology that we have been using for the past and put them together. What we call the Internet of Things, the big data, and artificial intelligence. And I think I don't have time to go through the dynamics of all those things because it will take a bit of time. Okay, so what we did is that the combination of that, what brought out what we call the smart city, cities that don't want people to come and press on buttons for them to work, but they can work on their own. So we have platforms that we're using that will allow us to do something like home automation, where, for example, you can actually be traveling to maybe Cape Coast and you get to Winnipeg, for example, they log on to your house and then put your microwave on or put your fridge off or gas cylinders off, you can put it off by using a button here on your device or something. Now, you remember we used to watch this TV, okay? I think I was growing up in the 80s, so I saw this TV in those years, and we had black and white TV, and I remember this how we used to watch it in our grandfather's living room. All these kids here have qualified to be here because they have to take their bath and smell some oil on their some kutu on their leg and do their homework and obey all the instructions from the adult before they can qualify to be here. Now we move from black and white TV to color TV to what we call the VCRs and then the DVDs and all of that. Today, television experience has changed to the point that we've been able to marry our digital world to our physical world to the point that I can pick my phone. I can pick the content from my phone and then hello. Okay. And then drop the content on the wall, okay, without using a projector. So I can the phone the phone will be in my hand with the content that's on, and then I can pick the content and drop it on the wall because the wall will have what we call an IP address. Okay. Techno pop, please. I can hear myself.
Oh, really?
Now, I should put it off here.
Oh, okay. Then please do that for me.
Okay, let me try it. Sorry. Let me do that.
Yeah.
I think I'm having a lot of issues with team. Yours is Techno what? Pop 4, eh? Okay.
Pop 2 par.
Can't find it. Okay. But it keep coming that you are talking.
Techno
so,
Pop 2 par.
Okay, don't worry. Okay, let's go.
It keep coming that you are talking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's it. And I can hear the feedback. Okay. So let's go on because we get to what's important. In the year 2015, Two guys entered MIT, and then the two guys built a very simple architecture that allow us to talk to deaf and dumb people. You know, globally we have about 500 million people who cannot talk with their mouth and they can't hear with their ears. They are deaf, and we have about 500 million people in the world that cannot do that. So that's a number. So these young guys built this gloves. Can you see this blue vest? The vest here, we actually put it on a deaf and dumb person. What happens is that when you talk to him, the signals, okay, the vibration motors here will help the body to absorb the sound of your voice, running through their skin, and they can appreciate what you are talking about. So if you talk to a deaf person, although his ears cannot hear what you are saying, his skin can listen to you and then understand what you are talking about. And so they experimented in the clubs where this deaf and dumb people were given this vest to wear. And as you play the music, they dance to the rhythm of the music. Although they can't hear with their voice, with their ears, but they could dance because their skin was doing the listening. And these are young boys who are about 17 years and one was 16 years from MIT that did that. What again they did was that. Also, they bought these gloves. We call it Sign Aloud. There's this gloves they bought. These gloves you see here, when you put it on the hand of a deaf person, as he does his sign language, the sign that he's actually doing, this glove is able to translate it through this architecture here for you to hear the person, what the person is doing. If I'm doing this, hello, my name is Emmanuel, I want to be, and I can't talk with my mouth. The gloves then translate it to audible English language for me to hear, although I can't understand the sign language. So it was a very powerful breakthrough. This young men are those who did it. Let's watch the video. Okay, so these guys did that, and then it's actually giving us a lot of breakthroughs in our world today. What is happening now is that you will be able to experience a number of inventions that are coming up that is so amazing that nobody could have imagined it in the 80s and the 70s, for example. Now, on our e-commerce platform, your fridge can talk to your supermarket owner, I need milk, I need sugar. You don't need to pick a phone and call them. Your fridge will do that for you because your fridge will be part of the network architecture that we are developing in these times. So technology is actually doing a number of crazy stuff. And for us who are here, I think that if your child is 2 years, in the next 20 years, your child should finish university and start working. You believe that if your child is 10 years, then less than 20 years, your child should be working because a child in your home must not be in your home forever. The argument is that once the child is still staying at home after some age, then that is not responsible. Everybody believes that the investment you are making in your child should make it easier for them to start. But let's look at what the future will look like in terms of area of jobs. So in the year 2012, a company called Facebook bought this company called Instagram. And let's do a bit of intellectual games here. They bought it for $1 billion. Like 2012, Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion. Now, most of you know what Instagram is. Now, at the time we were buying Instagram was employing only 14 people, 14. And the net worth of that company was $1 billion. The same year, 2012, Facebook again approached another company called WhatsApp, and which of all of us are using WhatsApp. They bought WhatsApp for $19 billion. There's a net worth of that company. At the time we were buying it, only 55 people were working for WhatsApp as a company. Today, WhatsApp has a net worth of about $200 billion. It's a huge. Instagram has a value of about $101 billion. They are crazy. They are making it, but they are not really getting people. There are not a lot of human beings working for them, for example. Now, compare this company to this one called Kodak. Kodak was established in the year 1888. That's our great-grandfather's company, which also went down. It collapsed in the year 2012. The same year Instagram was being acquired by Facebook. It has an employee population of about 550,000 people across the globe. And if your father bought you one of these, he was rich because this was a very expensive piece of technology. It was a powerful piece of technology. Today, this company is dead. It's a museum piece now. Nobody is using Kodak now.
caution to the public.
I can see some iPhone here. I can see. Can you get me some? Can you get me some? Okay, the noise. Okay, can you mute your? If you can mute your.
A national prayer service in Accra today on GBT's people that God's intervention is the.
Now, why don't you just mute all the mic from your end?
Okay, let me. Okay, so please give me some few minutes. Let me do that.
Yes, just mute it all from your end, so that when it's question time, you can open it up.
Okay, let me try this quickly. Give me some few minutes. Let me do that. But if you can do it, please do it for me. I beg you. It's taking a lot of time. Okay, please can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, I've done that, but some okay,
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, then let me go on.
Yeah, this Reverend Paul.
Okay, Reverend, welcome, sir.
Yes, I was a bit late because I was doing something.
Okay, so that's okay. You have not missed much. So we are now going to the meat of the discussion.
Okay.
All right. So what? Kodak actually went down 2012 with a negative net worth of $1 billion. What did they have? A loss of $1 billion at net worth, and they were employing 550,000 people. This company was dead. This company was making this was making a lot of money. This company was also making a lot of money, but they had 40 people here. They have 55 people here. And Ghana Commercial Bank has a number of people working for it, but they don't have more than $3 billion as their net worth. So it tells you that in our age, companies that are employing more of artificial intelligence and automation, they are making more money than companies that are employing physical human beings to work for them. And that is one of the things parents should look at. So children are leaving school, they are coming to the industry, and the thing they are actually trained to do, they will come and meet the robots who have been trained to do the same thing. And sorry, I won't have time to talk about those artificial intelligence things today, maybe another time. Now, so let's look at this. This is what we call the race against the machine. There's a contest between what a human being can do and what a robot can do, and it's becoming crazily serious. Let me leave some of that. So my prediction is in the next 20 years, 2 out of 3 career paths your child may want to enter into will not exist by the time they get there. So that's another very funny assertion. From the data we have, more than 2/3 of the jobs in the world will not exist by the time we enter 20 years from now. And look at this. This company is called Kodak, Chutotel. Chutotel is actually an Indian company. They are into hospitality. They are building hotels across the whole of the whole world. And the idea is that they want to build hotels that human beings don't mind. Can you imagine a hotel that human beings don't mind? So you can actually get $2 and you can sleep in a hotel in central London. And for a night, you don't pay anything. You don't meet any human being. Your room services are done by AI. Robots come to serve your food. Your room services are done. You don't meet any human being. You can just book them online and go to the hotel. You don't see any human being. And everything is fitting there by 100% artificial intelligence. And if a hotel can be run without human being, what else can't be run without human beings? And that is an interesting part of our discussion. So let me give you another example. In this country, Ghana, we have close to 2,000 people that were down on our roads every year. And you see, I put a website from National Road Safety Commission website, and they are telling us that every year we have 2,000 people plus who would die on our roads. We have more than 11,000 road crashes, and then people are dying. You know, this is needless, and I will believe that the cause of the death is mostly by the drivers who are using those vehicles. The argument we are having is that how can we stop this? Globally, we are having close to 4 million accidents on our road, 4 million people who die on our roads every year. Almost close to 500 million people dying on our roads every year. That's crazy. So Google then came with what we call a Google autonomous vehicle. This vehicle allows cars to drive on our road without human being driving it, because these cars actually use the algorithm that learn and then steady, and it has machine learning algorithm embedded, and it can talk to the next car, it can talk to the road, it doesn't hit, and it's so powerful with its maneuver on the road. It doesn't have a lot of accidents like the normal one human beings are driving, who are drunk and they are driving and stuff like that. The issue is that when this thing is fully implemented, America alone will have close to 3 million drivers who go home without jobs. So as we are trying to solve technological problems, we are taking the livelihood of many people, and that will impact the kind of job that will be available for the next 50 years. As a parent, raising up your children, this thing should inform the kind of thing you tell them, the kind of education you give to them, even in the house. The second thing is that 2 out of 3 problems that we'll be encountering in the next 20 years, we don't have an idea how it will look like. So people will not be able to rob your car on the highway, for example, but they can rob your car by using computer code to drive your car off your house to wherever they want to go to. Let's go to the next slide. This is where I want us to start thinking about child internet safety. With the things we talk about and a few examples that we've cited in the area of technological advancement and its impact on jobs and how we actually do anything in our world today, it has a lot of impact on how we raise our children as parents and caregivers. It will be different. It will not be like the way we did it in the past, where people do copy and paste parenting. How your father raised you up, the same way you raise your son. How your mother raised you up, is the same way you raise your daughter and stuff like that. That is why it is critical for us to have this discussion, because today our world cannot be predicted, and any little application can change the course of things in our world today. So let's go to the next slide. What is the biggest deal on the internet? Now, the biggest deal on the internet is the biggest deal of our lifetime today is what we call the internet. The internet is the biggest deal because it affords us a lot of opportunities, a lot of opportunities. It is also a biggest deal because today, one of the things that human beings cannot live without is data. I think people today are less concerned about water running through their taps than having data on their phones, for example. People cannot survive without data. And I'll tell you some damning stories about young people that we have actually worked with. How many times do you open your phone a day? It's a rhetorical question, and it's 221 times every day. How many times how many times do you make your call? It means every 9 minutes you open your phone. Now, there's a story we normally share, the popes. 2005, Pope John Paul died, Pope Benedict came, and then they coronated him here. That's St. Peter's Square. 8 years down the line, I said that the Pope resigned, and we have Pope Francis coming in, and he's a current Pope. And when he was being inaugurated in 2008, this is how the place looked like. So we look at the two of them. So the first part of 2008, there was no device that was there. 2008, just 2008. And in 8 years, everybody was holding a device here. What this means, the devices are becoming cheaper between 2008 and 2012, because the more, if the devices are cheaper, more people can afford it and more people can use it. Internet is becoming cheaper from 2008 to date. Now, the next thing that will also make the access to the internet cheaper is what we call the data itself. We're looking at how we can make data free of charge. So a company called Google has this project called Google Project Loon that will allow everybody with a device to connect to the internet free of charge. And it's what called you can Google it, Project Loon. Project Loon will look like this. So you have a device in your hand, you can connect to any of these balloons. It's a hot air balloon with a satellite embedded in it. So this balloon will run through above your head, and you can connect to it without use of data. You won't buy data from Vodafone to use. This will give you access to the internet for free. It is huge because then we can actually increase the number of users or those who are connected to the internet from 45% in Ghana, for example, to about maybe 90%. Now the question is that when internet becomes so free, children, young people will be the active users of the internet. It's huge. They will be the active users of the internet. And when they are on the internet, what would they do? What are they going to do? Yeah, like you have a child that is 5-year-old, you have a child that is 10-year-old. What are they going to do when you have a device connected to the internet? What are they going to do with those devices, for example? So they will do all these things. They will be able to do what we call the virtual world. I won't talk about it much. They will do the multi-user game. They will do testing. They will do profile, put their profile on social media. They create content. They will do research. These are good because, for example, if a child is born in a village which does not really celebrate arts, okay, but the child can draw very well. Google, for example, then give the child the opportunity to now publish their content on YouTube, and then get anybody who's interested anywhere in the world to connect to that child in the village somewhere, and can give the child a very great opportunity. So children can express themselves in the area that is not appealing to their immediate environment. So if I'm in Ghana and people don't act like art in Ghana, and I'm someone who can draw, I can draw and put on social media, and I can be connected to somebody who will be interested and want to sponsor my craft. It's a great opportunity for all of us. Please give me a minute. Let me read the chat. Okay, so so those who are asking, please you keep asking the questions on the chat because we don't want to forget. Chat me, like put a message there. When we finish, I'll respond to all those questions, and then we'll go on with that. All right, so they will do that. But what again would they do? Okay, so I want about 2 of the parents to help me with this one. So the children will also play with. We'll do other things on these platforms like this. Somebody can help me. Which platform is this? Any parents there can help me with this one. Which platform is this?
Sir?
Which platform do you see on your screen?
Facebook.
Facebook. Okay. What about this one?
Instagram.
Instagram. What about this one?
Twitter.
Okay. What about this one? What about this one?
No idea.
Okay. Somebody should tell me.
Snapchat.
Okay. This Snap. Okay. Okay. This Snapchat. Okay. How about this one?
This is Tumblr.
Okay. It's called Tumblr. Okay. What about this one? How about this one?
This one is called Vine. Is it Vic or Vine or something?
Okay. It's called Vine. Okay. How about this one? How about this one? Okay, this one I know you will see on your child's phone, but you know what it is? It's called Tinder. Sorry. What about this one? This one, everybody should TikTok. Okay. So next week we'll do a whole presentation on this enemy. Okay, this social media. It's about 3 years old, but it's very powerful. It's doing a lot of creative stuff. And so we'll talk about the next session. And then how about this one? Okay, it's called ax.fm. Okay, and the last one. This one is what?
Kiki.
It's called what?
Kiki.
No, it's called Kick. It's called Kick. Okay, it's called Kick. Okay. Now, okay, so you can put off the microphone now. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. So what I was trying to do is that I was trying to experiment with you how we've been left behind by the new generation. The new generation has interesting architecture they are using that is so fun to use, so exciting to use that parents don't have an idea where they are. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is that we are a third generation of parents who are giving birth directly onto the internet. In my introductory comment, I said that we were born into a world we were conscious of before we walk consciously into our social media world. Our children don't have the opportunity. That's why I can see young girls who are on the Instagram, for example, who are 25 years and married. They get pregnant in their first trimester. What they do, they go on social media and take the naked stomach and take a picture and put it on Instagram. And then when they get to third trimester, they still take pictures. And amazing, sometimes the child with blood all over, they will publish the child on Instagram. People are liking and people are commenting. And another thing I'll talk about social validation is going to another session we'll actually handle in the next session. So make sure you join us next week. Now, what is the biggest lie on the internet? The biggest lie on the internet is not somebody who sit in front of a very posh hotel and there's a white man behind him and take a picture. So they say Dubai things, for example. People are doing those crazy stuff. It's not somebody who then go to a washroom of a hotel and then put on social media and say, for example, that I'm in America having holidays and whatever. Meanwhile, the person is in Ghana. There are lies that are very dangerous. The dangerous lies in the world is this lie. Have you seen the lie? Have you seen that?
Yes, we just speak and then we go ahead. We don't have time to do it.
None of us do that.
Never read.
Yeah, that's the biggest lie.
Okay.
I've never taken my time to
okay. It's looked too scattered and too many, but the issue is that the problems we have with our digital world is start from here. And the issue is this. most of us don't read. But let me give you this example. You know, we thought that it's African that don't know, but this experiment was done in UK, Central London. And they went to a coffee shop and set up a Wi-Fi, a simple Wi-Fi. And from here, please listen, open your security awareness, yes, at this point, very well. I'm going to deeper things. They just set up a very simple Wi-Fi, and then it was free Wi-Fi, and you can connect. For information, some of us, when we travel, we like connecting to airport Wi-Fi and all of that. I was in a conference outside the country, and I worked with one white guy. He would never connect to any Wi-Fi anywhere we went to. He would just be asking the black people, can you check the news for me? Can you check this for me? He himself, he would never connect to any Wi-Fi. You know the reason? The reason was simple. Who is? I think I can hear. Let me try again if it's working. Okay. So he will not do anything. He will not open his phone to any Wi-Fi, because the issue is that when you connect to my Wi-Fi, I can set up a very fake Wi-Fi anywhere by your house. And when you connect to it, I can just now ping and get into your phone, collect all your pictures and your password, a lot of things just by connecting my Wi-Fi, for example. And most people don't know. So they are interested in getting free Wi-Fi, but if you are a free Wi-Fi person, be careful, because you may find some very hot soup. So when they set up this free Wi-Fi, and what they did was that anytime people want to connect, they will have this terms of reference or terms of service, and you just connect to it. But people were just connecting. They were connecting. And then at the end of the day, we realized that inside that license agreement, there was something that was written like this. Say, in using this service, which is the internet, they were giving for free, say that you agree to relinquish your firstborn child to F-Secure, the company that actually did the experiment. And when the company requires it, in any event that your child, no child is produced, your most beloved pet will be taken. So these are the things that were written inside the agreement that people say they've agreed to. I believe that nobody will agree to these terms to use internet, for example. When they say use the internet and give your child instead, nobody will do that. But people didn't read, and it's not black people, this is white. So nobody is reading the license agreement, but it has a lot of implication. And I will come to it as we go along. So as a parent, with all the things we have talked about, whenever you see your child using a device, are you apprehensive? Are you shocked? What is going through your mind? Your 5-year-old, your 10-year-old, your 13-year-old girl or boy is using a device aggressively in his bedroom. What are they doing? Are they having any? Is there any risk? What are the issues that you may be confronted with? The issue of what we can potentially confront with what we call sexting, and sexting is from 2 words: sex and test. Okay, and when we're having phones, the standard phones, like what we call how do you call standard phone? Like there's another, they call it Parental. No, those times when we were using those phones in 2001, 2000, you couldn't actually have any what do you call it, multimedia architecture embedded. You can't have videos, you can't have, even pictures were difficult. You have to just test. Yeah. That's all. But today, children can actually build their own content by making a video. And what is happening is that our generation enjoys interacting with our nudity. And not only kids. I've seen 30-year-old women who actually send their naked pictures and dance naked in front of a camera because their husband is abroad and they want to have fun. It's dangerous. Okay, it's dangerous for so many reasons. And in my work as a security person, I see these things happening a lot. Now, people don't know how this architecture works. So they behave as if when they have a password on their phone and they have a pattern on their phone, they are safe. You are not. And let me give you the instance. So a child of 13-year-old now have a boyfriend, and it's fun. The first boyfriend is always fun. What happens normally is that they play, and then sometimes they want to be naughty. I can see here. Give me a minute. I'm coming, sorry. So sorry, so let's go on. So something like that, this girl, sorry. I can still have the feedback. Whoever is there, please help me. Mr. Kenny, Mr. Nat.
Somebody is really disturbing us, please.
Yeah, Mr. Nat.
We can't hear anything.
Mr. Nat. Okay, so that's how it works. So we have, thank you very much. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm coming. Okay, so this is how it happens. They start actually pushing their cleavage out, and then it goes on getting naked, and the guys also send something crazy for them. So that's how it works. And when they do that, they think they're having fun. But there are two things. Whenever you are actually using any communication architecture, there is something we call exchange server. Okay. So if, for example, you are making a call, okay, the MTN, Vodafone, the communication is called BSC, MSC architecture, if you are calling from different networks. Now, when I make the call, and the call is actually trying to get connected to the recipient, there's a server side that actually helps the connection to be done. That's what we have done telecom. And at that place, there are boxes of architecture that actually does a number of activity. One record the conversation, one does billing, one does is there to help us to do the analysis and stuff like that. Now, every time you are making a call, the telcos have the architecture can be able to record even your conversation if they are given the laws permit to do that. Now, if you also send WhatsApp, for example, WhatsApp is an IM, messaging platform. Whenever you send, it take one. Okay, when it take one, it means that the exchange server is holding that content, and then the second thing that it has been delivered to the person you intend to have the conversation with. Now, everything you have ever sent in your life, there is a copy of that thing saved on a server of WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram in a server either in California or Russia or India. Whatever you have ever sent in your life, there's a copy of that sitting somewhere on your server. Now, the reason I'm actually bringing this point is that in the license agreement, they told you that they have the right to use your content without your permission. So they can have various architects actually doing that, but they need that content to profit from the exchange, because whatever money they actually put into that architect, they don't actually charge you for using WhatsApp, they don't charge you for using WhatsApp, it's free. The only way they can make their money is you as a product on their platform and your content. So they need that content. So make it. And once they are keeping that, they don't intend to actually embarrass you with it, but somebody can hack into that architecture, like what happened to this company called Ashley Madison. Ashley Madison was actually a dating website that had big guys like governors in America going there to have fun. This website is one for those who are looking for a serious relationship. Their slogan was that life is short, have an affair. So you go there and you meet another woman who is also bored with a husband, or a man who is bored with a wife, and they come there and they want to just meet, hook up, and just run away. For me, as we were analyzing this website 3 years ago when it was hacked, that's 2015, 5 years ago, when this was hacked, whereas this site was the most protected website, but somebody entered and then published close to 3 million classified documents on this platform on the internet for free, and it was breaking out of homes. I was shocked because if this site can be hacked, now I don't think that your phone in your hand with a password and passcode is something that you can say is secure. It's not. We can easily enter that phone and copy whatever we want to copy by just tricking you by using a social engineering architecture. We can easily come into your phone. So be careful how you use it. And that's I want all of you to go and let's talk to our children that under no circumstance should the camera on your phone or your laptop be able to record your nakedness, because once it hits the platform, you have no idea who have it. The second thing is that the drives on our phones, if I take a picture, the picture is saved into a digital drive, and that drive is not a physical drive. That drive cannot be erased. So if I take my naked picture on my phone and then I go there to tap delete, and I say delete, and I put a delete there, and the thing disappears, your physical eyes will not see it. But in forensics, you have not done anything. What you have basically done is that you have actually removed the identity of the picture. So if I want to get a picture back, I can run forensic tools on your phone, and I can recover all the deleted picture that you have actually taken with your phone and deleted. I can take it back. I can bring it back. What it means is that if your phone falls in the hand of any technical person and you have any nasty thing on your phone, you can recover them. And most of us, we have used about 5 or 6 smartphones in the past, and we don't even know where they are now. We give it to our children, and you don't know where they are. You don't remember what you kept on those phones. And that's the danger we have to also look at as parents and caregivers. As we advise our children, we have to also be careful how we use our own digital life. It's very dangerous. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is what we call sexting and Snapchat. Now, Snapchat then came and said, if you want to do sexting, if you want to play with your nudity, what I can do is I will help you. We are going to help you by giving you a platform that you can do all your naughty stuff, but you will be protected. That's their promise. That is their promise. Now, the promise was simple. Come here, play on the platform, play with your nudity, but nobody will see it. Unlike WhatsApp, unlike Instagram, unlike Facebook, where you want to send somebody your picture, you can save the picture on your machine. But this one, I can shuttle my snap with you, okay? And then when I send, I say, watch your thing for 10 seconds. So you put your hand on your phone, the picture ran 1, 10, 9, 8. It will count to 0. Once it gets to 0, the picture will disappear. I don't know what you using those features on your phone. Those who are using Snapchat. That is why their logo. That's why their logo is a ghost. So they are saying that the content can be seen, but it can't be captured. The way people can say, I've seen a ghost, but you can't capture a ghost because they are air. So you can see the content, but you can't capture it. You can't catch it. And that is but the problem is that Snapchat, we have had about 10 different ways now where we just experiment. We can actually take the picture from Snapchat, and the Snapchat company will not know that we have taken it, and the people who send it will not even see it. And that is why it's important that we come back to the advice that be careful what you put on your phone, because you may not know who has a superior technology than what you are using. So let me rush through some of the things. So people are bullied online, and now one of the areas I want you to also take care of is what we call the sexual predators. Now, what are sexual predators? Predators are those who are actually profiting from our online experiences and then profiting from our sexuality through our online experiences. So we have something called sextortion. We have something called sex revenge. We have something called, we have pedophiles that actually hunt for children and stuff like that. So let me talk about sextortion. Sextortion, for example, is if you see young girls who are in the university and they are having their body is building up, they are now beginning to admire their body. They go to bathroom, they take pictures on their phones and stuff like that. Now, people can come in and tell you, for example, we have an app that can help you to filter your pictures, okay? And when you download those applications, cyber criminals can use a linkage to the application and copy a lot of things from their phone. So they get your naked picture and tell you that if you don't pay us money, we'll put it on another platform. So typical example, boys normally sit in front of their laptop and then they masturbate, okay? They masturbate, you're watching pornography and masturbating. And somebody can hack into their phones and be recording the session. So if you are masturbating in front of your camera, and most other people are doing these things, and they record it, and then they will send it to you that I've seen you, also you've been masturbating in front of your camera, and then you are watching pornography at the same time, and the guy record you because he hacked your camera on your laptop, and then send you a video and tell you that if you don't give me 10,000 Ghana cedi or 5,000 Ghana cedi in the next 24 hours, I'm going to put this video on the internet. It's called sextortion. They will be able to pick your videos and then use it against you if you give them the chance. Now, sorry. Forgive me. Okay, so that's it. Now, so let's watch this video. One of the sexual predators. Let's watch the video. Okay. So the gentleman was convinced by using a multi-user game. Multi-user game means that you can, and most of us we have this games on our phone that we play. I can play with somebody in India, you can play with somebody in Kenya, you can play with somebody in the northern region. You can be in Accra and play with anybody who is available to play. Okay, so and the guy was doing some and if you are using Xbox and PS4 and like Microsoft devices, you realize that they can actually give you profile people that will potentially be playing with, they can play with you, whether in America or anywhere in the world, because you have internet, you can connect to them. So this guy also met this guy called Jack, and then Jack told him that come to my house, let's have, because they've been playing FIFA on their machine for a long time. Come to my house, let's have fun. And so that young guy you saw is the person is going to see. But that's what happened. So he took his bicycle and then went to the house. Okay, please, who want to talk, please? Somebody raise his hand. Can you talk to me?
I can't see the video on my screen. I don't know whether you are showing the video.
Okay, I'm showing the video.
I also can see.
You can see it?
Yes.
Okay, can you see now?
Can you tell
No.
us the story? Because we can't even hear the voice. So if you can narrate it for us so that we can follow.
Okay, no worries. So what happened is that the young man who was playing with this machine saw another guy online and they met and played games. They play normal multi-user game. Multi-user game means that I can remotely play with you. I can be in America, you be in Accra, we can play the same game, okay? Because I'm available. Now, the challenge with that is that you may not know who you are playing with. So this guy met somebody online. They had a lot of fun. They were playing, and the guy said, "Why don't you come to my house and we play physical? You can play physical football." And that's what made this young man move from his house to go to where his friend that he met on the internet was. Some of us can see the video, right? Hello, anybody can see the video?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
I can see
okay.
it. But
So those who can see.
yeah.
Okay, so those who can see, let's finish watching it and I'll explain it to those who couldn't see. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, can
All
also
right.
see.
Okay. Sorry.
But there's no talking, no.
Okay, so let's watch the video. Then when we finish, then we can what do you call it? Sorry about that. Okay.
There's no sound from the video.
Yeah, is it better? Go to mommy. Go to mommy.
Are you really want to snatch my honor from me? Oh, you are the reason our formal introduction is being delayed. No, you.
The logo was 71. Malibu was 71. What's my name? Get the phone right.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar. Bismillahi Rabbil Alamin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril
Okay, so those of us who can see the video, let me. Okay, so those of us who can see the video, what is happening is that the gentleman actually went, the young man went to the house and met this guy who said that he is the elder brother of the young man he was playing the game with, so he should come and wait. And as he was waiting, the man started entertaining him. And what he did was he gave him a can of beer, like in a can bottle. And then he took it and then gave him another one, and the guy was getting drunk. Apparently, the guy on the other side was a pedophile, and there was no Jack in the picture. He was a Jack. He was a young, older person who was actually pretending to be a younger child and was playing with young people. And this story that we're having here, we have a number of these stories here in Ghana, and we are in cybersecurity space, so we hear these stories a lot, and we're interested. Now, there's a story that was done about 3 years ago by Manasseh Azuri of a medical doctor in Takoradi who was using the same activity, using social media and games, hunting for young boys, and then he was abusing them. He was a pedophile, and he does that using the social media and all of that. Now, the challenge is this. Most people are 13-year-old, which are college, like legally, you are supposed to be 13 years to be on social media. But some people even younger than that age, and they are there, and they have a lot of friends, because young people, when they come on social media, they want to expose it, like they accept all manner of friendship and have 500 friends, for example. Now, the more friends they have, the more people can be anonymous, and the more anonymous people are, the more they can be abused. So these are the issues that we can have. People are meeting more people that they don't know, and then they actually begin to trust them because they have a relationship here. And I'll talk about cyber grooming very soon. So what happened? The guy actually brought this young man there, and then showed that he's a pedophile, and that there was a reason why he.
Hello.
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, so normally this is how the thing is. You will have a child a man who can pretend to be a woman, for example, when it comes to sexual predators, or you can have an older person who can pretend to be a child. So you can have your child who is 13-year-old and who has a lot of excitement playing with another 13-year-old person, but he meets somebody on the internet like this young guy, and then he thinks that he's playing with a child, but behind the mask would be sometimes a 45-year-old man or a 50-year-old man. And some of the stories we actually reviewed in the office the other time, some people are 90 years, they want child pornography, they want to watch young girls, their breasts, and they go on child pornography sites to watch. 90-year-old, 80-year-olds. And so it's a child should be protected from everybody. And that's as a parent, you have to know that one. It's important. So, and let's look at digital addiction. I won't talk about it because next week we are going to have something on digital addiction. So let me skip this one. And then let me skip this one too. So we have cyber grooming. So this time around, this is a strategy that is normally used by a lot of these radicals, Boko Haram, ISIS, and co. That's how they recruit people. They start recruiting at the age of 9, 8, 7. That's how they start recruiting. And you are waiting for your child to be 15 years to talk about internet safety. No, they start very early. They groom them, and they have a lot of fun with them until they get to university. By the time they get to university, you have lost them. So how do they do it? I remember when one young man entered K University, I think about 4 years ago, and he joined ISIS. I had a number of interviews with some of the radio stations, and I kept insisting that, boys, guys, the issues is not about the student in K University. These guys are groomed from 8, from 10, from 11, when they are playing simple computer games, and there are pop-ups, and they click, and they are keywords, and they land on the website, and parents are not interested because they think their children are very savvy. One of the challenges I've seen with many parents is that when their children are very savvy with their devices, they think that they can't be controlled. They don't need computer more, it won't mean anyway. And so once you come to that place, you lost control, and it's dangerous. Because much as children can be savvy, they can be manipulated. That's a different thing. The fact that somebody is savvy doesn't mean he's very intelligent. So let's come to the last lap. The last lap is this. We are in a cyber warfare. And these kids are fighting a very complex war. They don't need you to fight with them. They want you to fight with them. Okay? Fight against them, but fight in partnership with them. They want your support. They want your help as a parent. And as a teacher, young people are going through a lot when it comes to their cyberspace. And interesting, I can't go into all the dangers that we have exploited in the past few years. But let's look at some of few of them. As a parent, make sure that you actually observe this good parenting checklist, okay, that we're going to say. So number one thing is that you have to start talking to your children, okay? Talk to your children, talk to them, talk with them, and listen to them. It's important. That's what people do. So talk to them early. At one of my conferences, I was outside the country, and they asked me, the moderator asked me, they say, Emmanuel, how will you talk to a 4-year-old child about internet safety? And I sat down for like a minute. I was thinking, because I've not thought of it. It's important for us to have strategies to communicate internet safety as long as the children are using the devices. It's important. You have to stay calm, open to your children. Let's be open to our children because... Hello. You can't hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, please? Okay, so another thing I want to share is that please try and educate yourself. Parenting today is like doing law, okay? You have to educate yourself, which is key. You have to learn a lot of new things to be able to parent your kids in this age. Don't stress about it, make sure that you're interested in learning. That I have talked to many young people, like I've had a lot of seminars for secondary school people, university students and stuff like that. And the things they share with me, I know they won't share with their parents. The reason parents sometimes don't even look like they are interested in discussing those things. And that's why they will not even share their experiences with you. I think I'm muting everybody, but somebody's still talking. Okay. So again, what you do, you have to play the games your children are playing, play with them, let them teach you how to play those games. And that is the only way you can understand that what they are in. It will help you as a parent to ask very intelligent questions as we go along. And then again, use parental control. So please here, let's get this very well. Parental controls are one of the critical things that parents must master, okay? Our digital architecture is built for openness and information sharing, okay? It's not for security. And that is why a child can hold a device and can just type porn, and then they will give him pornography. Or can type the word gambling, they will give him everything about gambling. But you may not want your child to be gambling. So let's look at this thing. All of you, you have your devices in your hand. And I know most of you don't have parental controls on your device. But let's do this test. I did a conference for UNICEF, okay, about 2 years ago. And at the conference, one of the directors came to me and shared a story with me that, Emmanuel, one woman in our team had a family, and their family had a rule that a child will not have a device until they are in the university. When you get admission, you are going to university. That's the time they will give you a device. So you have your first iPhone, you have your first laptop, you have the first tablet, whatever, before you go to university. But before that, you won't use a device. But they are afraid of the risk. That was the rule. Until one day, the woman came back from work and saw his child, his 13-year-old boy who was in GHS, was holding himself and was masturbating in their living room aggressively. The woman told me that, Emmanuel, we called this child for more than 5 times his own name. He was not hearing us. Then The woman said, I broke down in tears. I was crying. We got this guy to say when the father came. When the father came and we asked the guy, how did you learn? He said that I learned it on the internet. And the question was that, how did you, because you don't have a device, how did you learn it? Can somebody guess where the guy learned it from? School. From a friend. Okay, that's good. So that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Until when
From
said
the
that,
parents' phone.
from the parents' phone. That's
And
a
then,
possibility.
and then also the children themselves buy, they find ways of buying phones.
The device.
They save money and they
Yeah.
buy the phones themselves.
Yeah, so in my conferences within in Ghana and in most part of Africa where I've traveled to present, I've always told parents that we in Africa must, we in Africa, we have a bigger burden on our neck like those in Europe. Because in Europe, for example, a child cannot buy or own a device. But here in Ghana, there are no laws. So even your 13-year-old boy can save money and go to Circle and go and buy a phone and start using it. And just go and get a chip that is pre-registered and can be using the phone without even your knowledge. That is why when it comes to digital internet safety for families, Africa or those who are living in this part of the world should be more interested than even those in Europe, because they are, even the environment is a bit more protected than our own. So what the guy said was that I learned it from my mom's. I learned it from mom's device, the mom's device. So the guy will come from school, and I say, "Mommy, I have assignments, and then today, by the grace of Google, you can just have the child go online, and I can get skeleton of a human being, being a part of a fish, do those things. Which way you might have forgotten because it did a long time ago. So Google can help you. So give them the device, let them go and research, and as they research, they get bored, and when they get bored, they start looking at other things, and the guy starts learning those things. Now, the challenge is that if, as you are listening to me, if you give your child, your phone to your child, will your child be able to access anything they want on their phone? Let's experiment it. So if you are not using your phone for this, what do you call it, for this seminar, then you can do this for me. We can just do this thing. We can look at something here. So I'm going to push Android device. This is an Android device. So let's say I have an Android device here. So this is the device you may have. This is your phone. So you have all the downloads of a lot of applications on your phone, like the way I have it on my phone here. So I'm using an emulator to just demonstrate. So I have my Android app here. I want to check whether my phone here is secured, has parental controls on it. So when my child takes it and type pornography, he won't get it. When he type gambling, he won't get it and stuff like that. Is there any control on my phone? So I want to check it. So I come to Play Store. So if I use an Android device, you can do it with me. Now, if you come to Play Store, you have this 3 dots here. And if you click on the 3 dots, you can come down to what we call settings. All right. Once I click the settings, it brings me here. And there's this part here called parental controls. I don't know whether anybody tried it. So let me do it again. So I come back and then I come to home. This is my home. And then
parental guide, right?
Parental controls. You get it. So there's it. So I come to.
Yeah, I see.
Are you using iPhone?
I see parental guide, right?
Are you using iPhone?
No.
Okay, don't worry. That's
no, Samsung.
Okay, so let's go there again. So we have play, and then we come to this part, and then we have settings, and then when you come down, you can see parental controls under the Google Play preferences. You have user controls. You have parental controls. Now, when you click on it, it then gives you the opportunity. I think okay, it's very slow. Give opportunity to now insert your passcode here. Some people are having problem with their devices. Okay. So click on parental controls, and then you have a window here that will allow you to put. I don't know whether my internet is okay. So you have that one, then you can put your code. When you open it, you see either it's on or off. I don't know. None of us have it on, right? All of us have it off, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. What it means is that by the state of your phone your child can have access to anything if you give it to your child. So you have to put parental controls on it. By just putting your code there and then limit the number of content they can access. So if they are less than that age, Android doesn't give you a lot of privileges. But if you use an iPhone has a lot of privileges it gives you. But I don't have an emulator here to do iPhone, so maybe we can do it later if we get a chance to. So that is what I want you to look at. Now, another thing I want to also do is that some of you have phones in your house. So when you go to work and you come by, your child has used the desktop or the computer in the house for almost 3 hours. And you want to find out what was my child doing in all the time I was away from the house. So this is the browser the child used. Maybe the child used maybe a Google Chrome or any other browser. So you come to the browser and then you can come to this 3 dots here. And then when you click on the 3 dots, you can see history. Now, if you come to the history and you click on this, it then gives you an opportunity to see all the things the child did with the phone. Okay, so the time the child was on the platform, the time. So as at 4:31, I was doing something on communication, I was doing something on this, I was opening my mail. So if the child has actually gone anywhere on the platform, you can just see it. And then if you're not sure what the child did with that platform, you can just click and see what was about. Then they bring you to the website. You can see what the child did. So it's a way of knowing what your children are doing. It's important for you to have an idea what they are doing. You can know how you can have a conversation with them. Because I think the number one PowerPoint is that have conversation with your children about the internet safety. Don't police them so much. And if you do that, you'll be able to keep them secure and safe. Any question at this point?
No.
So let me look. So please, hello. If I'm coming, please. If you want to, I'm coming, please. If you want to ask a question, please make sure that your speaker, your microphone is off. Help me with that, so that we can. Otherwise, we can't hear anything. Okay. So.
I think there are already some questions in the chat area. Yes.
Okay. So let me
look from
look.
Manuel Mensah and then Patrick.
Okay. So let me look at it. Okay. So I can see. Okay. So I can see that one. I can see. What is the name of the device again? Please, Mr. Patrick Nambi.
I have responded to that directly. I've sent him a link to check that out.
Okay, that's fine. And then it's only money that criminals extort or sexual predators as well. Okay. So let me answer Mr. Nelson Dankwa. Sexual predators are interested in so many things, and this is not a hardcore cybersecurity awareness training. So we have a training for cybersecurity awareness. That's another thing. Like we can talk about how people can use you to make money, make millions of dollars, and how you can prevent that to happen. That one is another training we can do. But this one, the focus on the children. And since children don't have a lot of funds, in actuality, if you are using the game attached with your account, where they can buy applications online or app store, that's another thing criminals can also actually take advantage of. That one can do, another discussion we can do. They can make you waste all your money through your children. That's another thing. So they're interested in both. They're interested in money and they're interested in sexual favors. But the sexual favor is not even to benefit them, but sexual favor is benefit also a particular activity they are managing. So for example, somebody can be running a porn site, a child pornographic site. Because he can't get children to act and take the camera and take the video, he will, for example, extort privileges from young people across Africa. So for example, he becomes your child's friend, and then he groom your child to start sharing their naked pictures with them. And when the child stops doing that, they then threaten the child that they will publish whatever they've sent to them on the internet. And then the child then becomes a slave to them and be supplying them. There are some people in Ghana, there are some young children in Ghana here who every morning go and stand in front of a camera, masturbate, and take the content and send it to somebody in Russia, for example. And these videos are actually uploaded on pornographic sites. It's very difficult to police the internet. That's why I don't want you to wait for these issues to happen before you go and report to police station, because they won't be able to investigate. It will be difficult for them to investigate digital crime. Yeah, I can hear you, sir. So that one, okay, can we say, okay, then I can see, okay, listen to narrative. Okay. Then Okay, yes, I think the narrative should be okay. There's no sound. Okay.
Okay. Let me read what I have here.
Okay.
Okay. So we have one from Emmanuel Mensah.
Okay, I can see that one. Okay.
And he says, "Please, what is your comment about WhatsApp end-to-end encryption,
okay.
where not even WhatsApp network provider can have the content?"
Yeah, shared content. Okay. So that question, I was expecting this question, because almost every time people ask this question. That once you actually get, and for those who wouldn't understand what is meant by end-to-end encryption, encryption basically talks about actually scrambling the data. Okay, so initially when you are sending a content, like I'm sending a message, I say hello to you. From between the time the thing leave my phone to the time it hits your phone, there's something we call man in the middle. There's somebody who can be in the middle of the conversation and take the data and either modify it or steal the data. Okay, so WhatsApp had there was this thing we even normally were doing it early part of WhatsApp application 2010, where we can have your phone number run into a very simple architecture, and we can pull all your WhatsApp conversation, and we can see it. You can see it like fresh, like whatever you are saying, hello, how are you? We can see it, and we are not we are not the people you are sending a message to. We can intercept the message and take it. So what I've done? They actually put a pipe. Okay, that would make a pipe that actually protect the data in transit. We call it packets. So from the time the data leave your phone to the person who is actually receiving it phone, it's called a packet, and the packet is actually protected in a pipe. What it means is that the data is actually scrambled. It's now gibberish. So when even I intercept the data and take it, I won't be able to know the actual content of the data, whether it's a text or a picture or a video. That's the meaning of the encryption. So, and somebody must have the key to be able to open that encryption and see the actual content. That's the meaning of encryption. So this is what WhatsApp has done. So WhatsApp has done this one to protect you, the user, against a third party. So if you are sending a message to me and myself and Mr. Emmanuel Mensah, we are having a conversation on WhatsApp, the third party cannot intercept, and even if it does intercept, you can't see the content because it's actually encrypted. That's cool, okay? Now, the keys are built, and if you understand the way encryptions are done, you realize that they are programmed that the person who actually give you the keys and build a for the people of the encryption can have a superior knowledge to break the encryption keys. We all know how to do some of the encryption when it's not properly done. WhatsApp put the architecture there. You can't tell me that they are putting architecture there that is stronger than them. And when they need the data that you are actually sending across, they themselves cannot have access to. That's a myth. The protection is between you and the person who is actually receiving the data against a third party and not them, technically. And I won't have time to go into the dynamics of the business module of WhatsApp and Facebook. And you know that there's not even an argument to go into. The second thing is that when the thing has actually entered your phone, it is not encrypted again. Because if I send a simple thing like Vodafone is sharing data on your WhatsApp group, and I put a link there, and you tap on the link, what happens is that I can have access to your phone, and I can have
Okay, I think he's back now. Hi, Emmanuel. Your microphone is off, so we can't hear you.
Okay. Is it better? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I guess the network went down. Sorry about that. So
that's okay. You can go on.
What I'm saying is that the implications are that you are being protected from a third party and not from themselves. That's number one. Number two thing is that you can also get somebody enter your phone and then pick the data you have not encrypted, because most of us don't encrypt the data on our phones. Okay, so once your data on your phone is not encrypted, when WhatsApp brings it, the key, by the time it gets to your phone, the key has been handed over to you for the phone to open it. That's what you can see. And if I hack your phone, I can still copy the data from your phone. So that's the things that you have to bear in mind. Are we good?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so is it well answered, please? Don't answer the question. I have the question.
That's a question from Emmanuel Mensah.
Mr. Mensah, please, is it well answered for you? Mr. Mensah?
Okay, I think his microphone is muted, so we can go.
Okay, so, let's go. So what is the next question, Basti?
Okay, we have another from Patrick Nambi, and he's asking, does the SSL inscription on e-commerce websites monitor transactions of customers? If yes, then why, while apps providers claim data of users cannot be monitored, why will app users claim that our data cannot be monitored because they are encrypted?
Okay, so the
certificate, a similar question.
Yeah, the same. So the issue is that if a data is in transit, so like I'm buying something from Amazon, you realize that you can even have a website that is not protected, doesn't have SSL certificate on it. But when you get to where the payment gateway is, that place will have encryption, because that's your credentials, your credentials on your card. So they are protected. They are not protecting it from against themselves, because they need that content to be able to even execute the transaction. But somebody should not be able to steal that your information to be able to use it against you. Okay, so there is a limit to, there is a protection in that, but it's not 100% protection. Are you good?
Patrick, are you good?
Yeah. So
yes, I'm good now.
Yeah, okay. So if I want to send a WhatsApp message to somebody, is it possible for me to encrypt it before sending it?
No. It's done already.
Oh, okay.
So the moment you actually say, the moment you say hello and you say send, from the time you tap on the send, that automatically gets encrypted, and the key to that to open the encryption is actually sent to the person you are trying to have a conversation with. So when the thing hits his phone, it's automatically opening for the person. So you don't need to do that. But what I mean is that the content, like if you have a picture on your phone, you can encrypt it on your phone itself. And there's a way you can do it. I don't know whether next time I can do that one. We can go, it's a process. You can encrypt the content on your phone itself, but if it's on transit, it's encrypted. I think it actually does that for you.
Okay.
Are you
good? Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So any other question, please? I'm listening. I want you to ask more questions. Otherwise, I'll ask questions also.
Okay.
Steve,
Abner Prempe would like you to briefly go over parental controls.
Okay. So parental controls. Okay. So I was actually looking at, I put this emulator. Okay. And I said, if you have a phone, like Android device, and you want to put parental control on the phone, so that when your child takes it, he can't actually use it to do anything he wants to do away with it. You can just come to this side. Can you see my screen, please?
No.
Okay, sorry. So let me share my screen. Forgive me. Okay, so let me share my screen again. I guess I can see my screen now. Okay,
we can see your screen now.
Okay, so this is your Android device, okay? And then you have the Play Store here. So you click on it. And when you click on it, sorry, let me come back. Sorry. So I come to this, I click on Play Store. And then when I come here, I come down to settings. And when you look at this window, you bring it down a bit, you can see that there is something here called parental control. When you have the user controls there, parental control. My own is on because I put parental control on it. And then when I click on this side, it then opens this. I don't know why it's a bit slow here. But when you use your own, it will give, it's started to put a passcode there. And when you put a passcode there, then it will open a window for you to then limit the age. If your child is 5-year-old, he cannot access a 10-year-old content and all of that. You can just put it back. Let me swap my internet and see if it will be better. Okay, so let me come back. So that's what you do. And then I also talked about, we can do Windows OS, like you can use your Windows in the house. You can actually assign privilege to your children, or better still, you can also do monitoring. So you go to work and you come, and your child has used this to browse the internet to do a lot of things. How will you be able to know what your child has done with the device? So I say you come to this 3 dots here, click here, and then come to history, and then you click on history. When you click on the history, you have all the things that has been done on the device. It is playing for you here. Okay. Now, in case the person even deletes the history, you can still get it by just going to Google. Okay, so I go to Google, and then when I go to Google, I can just type into the Google console my activity. And when I type my activity, Google can just give me back the entire history of the device, whatever the person has done. So I come through and I can see all the websites the child visited. I can see all of them here in my Google history. If even the person comes here and deletes it from here, you can still have another third leg. You can still have the issue is that there is no way somebody can delete anything from their devices completely. If you want it, you can get it. We can actually even run forensic tools on the device. We can have the data back if they even the so these are some of the things we can actually look at. That's for the parental control bit. Steve, any question there again?
No, we don't have. Okay, we have one that I think you've addressed already.
Okay.
The person is asking, that is Michael Say, is asking whether we can encrypt our data.
Okay.
But that I think you already addressed.
We have dealt it on. Okay. So be a good digital role model, please. Make sure that you are not addicted to devices so that your children can be controlled. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much. And then let me say we have this.
Is it possible for me to?
I'm listening, sir.
Yeah, I want to make a remark. I want to make a remark in relation to the terms and conditions on this website.
Okay, I'm listening.
Right. So I think it's very necessary for us to take our time and then read the terms and conditions, because
yeah, it's very important. I tell people that it's very stressful, but just flip your eyes through, because when you flip your eyes through, it actually helps you to manage yourself in the way you use the content. You use the platform. But for example, Facebook is telling you that they can use your content any way they want it. When you have a security issue and then they are called by their security agencies to give them, they will give it to them. They told you in the content. They told you that, for example, you can actually take your content out.
On here, does anyone know more about that to share? Emmanuel, okay, you're back on. But your mic is off, so can you turn it on? Hello, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, it's on now.
Oh, okay, yes, it's on now. So
should I repeat
while you are away, we had a question.
Okay.
Shaban, can you ask again?
Okay.
Yeah, I read about just trying to know about the security stuff because I deal with kids. So I chanced across one. I was told that there's an app that when the child puts it on the phone, all they need to do is to shake their phone when their parents are around, and then everything that they were doing goes off.
I'm losing him. I'm losing myself. Hello? Steve? Steve?
Down again. Yes.
So I'm up.
Oh, you are? Okay. Did you?
Can I ask my question?
Okay, yes, you can ask. I'll note it down.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh.
Okay. Did you hear his question before going off?
No, yeah, I heard it, but it wasn't. Hold on a minute.
Okay, so
can you put it inside?
Shaban, can you just state it briefly so that he just answers?
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah. The child.
All right. I hear there's an app that when the child has it on the phone, all they need to do is to shake the phone when the parent or the one supervising is around, and you can't retrieve what they were doing.
Okay. So I think that there are a number of things that can happen when it comes to kids and the things they explore. Okay, they can see a number of things, but the fundamental principles are still there. They are able to beat most parents because the parents don't have the skill set to be able to unravel the things the kids are doing. Basically, that's it. There is no way a child can let something get lost from the phone completely. Even the architecture, like platforms like Snapchat that has that architecture, cannot even hold through to it because people are still getting the data out. There is a way the data can be hidden from you because you're not a professional. That's number one. It doesn't mean it's a miracle for a child to have the data lost completely. But the second thing I want to also say is that you don't have to police the children. You don't have to be interested in what they do. My first PowerPoint is that talk to them, let them understand the reason why they need to protect themselves. And that's critical. Don't fight and run after them because they will think that you are just trying to be one old man who doesn't care about their fun and all of it. For children, 90% of the time on the internet is about fun. And that's where they are normally caught up with sexual predators and internet cyber criminals. So let's have conversation with them more. Let's have talks with them. Let's be in the world that they are in. And that's what will save a lot of problems from us. And once they see you as their friend, they can talk to you about most of the things that are happening. That's what I think parents should. Yeah. Don't be too traditional with, I'm a parent, do A, don't do that. Because that word, you don't understand it, the dynamic so well. And that may be a difficulty. Okay, are we good? Are we good?
I think we are.
Okay.
Yeah. So
can I ask mine?
Yeah, go ahead. I think some people are still entering the meeting. Okay, I can hear you say.
Yes. Are we safe to provide our data to these social media sites? Especially when you want to use, they'll ask you some specific questions that can I have access to your picture or something? Say yes or no, and you click yes. Then that means that they can have access to your pictures and other things.
Yeah. So there's some. Okay. Let me. Oh, sorry. Finish. Forgive me. I thought you finished. Sorry.
Oh no. I think you get it. So you just.
Okay.
Yes,
so what normally happens is that you are safe and you are also not safe. There are two things. So let me say you are safe in the sense that you can give it to them and take the privileges back. Okay, that's number one. And then depending on how the modeling of the language was done, if you also give them access, they will be able to be swift enough to install other malware on your phone. So let me give you an example. If somebody is actually giving you an application for maybe trying to make you look old, and that app came a bit about last year, where people were making themselves older or younger, 80 years old. Yes. So that app, and when you are installing that app, it will ask you that it wants to have access to your cameras, and people were just giving them. If you don't do that, it doesn't allow you to install the app in the first place, and that's the difficulty. No. So once you don't give me access to your camera, once you don't give me access to this, access to your content and stuff, then you can't use the app. So what you can do, you can actually give them access for you to install, and then go through under the settings and go to where the apps are, and you can actually take all those. When you go, it will be ticked. Just go in and take it. That's all. So from that time onward, they can't have access to your phone again. So that's how we can do it. If you are not interested,
you can still use it when you.
Yeah, you can use it. And you can go back into the settings and then take it off. Take it so they don't have access to take all those content from you. Another issue is that any application you download, whether they ask or not, you have to go back into your settings and find out what the app is taking from your phone. Because sometimes they may not even ask you, but they can illegally be taking it. There was an app that was for a torchlight app. People were using it for torchlight on their phone, and the guys were taking a lot of data from people's phone. Okay, people taking a lot of data from people's phone, and I think that's one of the things that you have to also look at when you are giving your content to some of these platforms. Are we good?
Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. So let me say, yeah.
Emmanuel?
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
Yeah, please, I just want to ask, is it possible to have your contact or something? Some of us are here for the first time.
Okay, no problem. So I'm just going to push my slide again, and can you see my screen, please? Or I'm not sharing it. Please, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me share my screen, and then this is my number. Okay, this is my personal line, so you can chat me. Any other question you want to ask, you can just chat me on this line. Again, we do conference speaking, we do support and consulting, and we also do training remotely for kids. Okay, so if you have a child that is 7 years old and above, and you want them to learn how to code and all of that, you can talk to me. We can give you the chance to. The child will be home because we are now at a lockdown, and then we can connect their device and teach them from wherever the child may be remotely. Okay, we do a 1 week free training for them, and subsequently, if you want to do the training, we can actually talk about some very funny terms. That is another thing we can do. But this is a number. If you want us to have any conversation, you want us to do any special session for your church group or special session for your youth groups or any other thing you think is technology based, let us know. We can assist you to do that. Now, God willing, next week we will have this session.
If I may add,
go ahead.
Briefly before we all go off, I've posted a feedback link in the chat area. So please click on that and give us some feedback of how relevant the training is to you and how we can improve upon it next time.
That's great.
That's really important.
Okay.
Then, Ima, can you tell us more about how we can get the recording?
Okay, so what I will do is I'll put it on YouTube.
Sharing it.
On YouTube.
Thing I realized is when in a conference, everybody's video and microphone is on, you will have interferences and this on and off issue. A challenge will persist.
Okay.
So if people are not on the floor to ask a question or anything, just mute it.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
When it happens that way, you are able to control, because people are running on low data, others are running on high data.
Yeah.
So when it happens that way, you see that the app will be restarting from one person's end.
Okay.
You understand? So I would suggest that if you are not on the floor, just mute your thing. Then when he finishes presenting, even if you want to say anything, there is the option where you can raise your hands. Then the admin will call you. And so once you raise your hands, then you can be given the opportunity to the floor. Thank you.
Okay, very well noted. Thank you. Ima, can you just wrap it up for us? So
thank you very much for your time. I think that what we'll do is I will show you what will happen next week. Okay, Steve, I think we can share this, right? Okay, so what we are doing is,
we can see your screen right now.
Yeah, so we can let me adjust it so that everybody can see it. Can you see? Can we see this?
Yes, we can see.
So this will be a topic we are addressing next meeting. We call it "You May Lose Your Child to Social Media. Why and How?" Okay, it's going to look at a number of issues around addiction and the social media manipulation architecture. And this is one of the things that I think everybody can sign up.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So I will send the message to everybody's mail. Those who registered, Steve will send it to you, and then I will also send it on your WhatsApp console and stuff. Okay. And then we'll see how it will help all of us. Okay. So Steve, I think this is where we'll end it. And then if you have any other thing you want to say, then we can continue. Steve, are you there? Steve.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, Steve.
Okay. So I just would like to thank all of you for joining us. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So you can do the closing remark. And
yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Steve.
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to say a big thank you to all of you for joining us this evening. Okay, so all right. So on behalf of the Africa Center for Media and Financial Literacy, Ramses Infotech, we would like to say a big thank you for joining us this evening. And it's our hope that you really benefited from joining us and that you avail yourself for subsequent interactions. I will also like to encourage you to complete the feedback forms. That will give us more information on how to tailor the training to your needs to make it more relevant to you. If you still have other questions or comments, you can check us out on social media and ask those, or you have our contacts. You can revert to us directly. Thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you, Steve, for the opportunity to. So we'll meet again.
Thank you too. We are most grateful.
Okay. Thank you.
We are most grateful. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
God bless you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic.
Welcome.
See you next week.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye-bye.
Bless you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Alhamdulillah.
Manuata.
Yes, please. Yes, sir.
Of course, you're a goal of us.
Ata.
Yeah, I can hear you, sir. Hello, Sina, I can hear you.
Yes.